This bathroom was built inside a converted shop, and none of the original construction followed modern standards. The walls are out of square, the framing is inconsistent, and the plumbing doesn't sit in a clean drywall plane. When the homeowner decided to replace the shower and vanity, the goal was to make sure there wasn't any hidden mold or moisture behind the walls. After the vanity was removed, a bulge in the wall raised concern for possible water damage, so the wall was opened up to investigate. What we found wasn't mold. It was a pipe wall pushed proud by abnormal plumbing alignment. And this is where a common drywall mistake shows up, one that can cause cracking, moisture problems, and thousands of dollars in damage over time. Packing drywall compound tight to plumbing locks two systems together that are designed to move independently. In this video, I'll show you how to spot that problem, why it fails, and how to handle pipe walls correctly when ideal conditions don't exist. Before I cut, fasten, or finish anything, I stop and look at what kind of situation I'm actually in. There are three types of construction you'll run into: ideal, best practice remodels, and constrained retrofit work. This is constrained retrofit work. The framing isn't square, the plumbing sits proud of the drywall plane, and nothing lines up the way it would in new construction. Here I'm checking three things: moisture risk, system conflicts between plumbing and drywall, and whether the wall can be finished without locking anything together. Once those answers are clear, the plan becomes obvious. I always remove escutcheons first. Smaller penetrations are easier to reinforce and disappear in the finish. Before I cut anything, I build a map. The first thing I measure is the overall length and width of the piece I need. After that, I'll measure where each pipe is. Even if you don't normally work in inches, drywallers speak in eighths because it's a simple, repeatable way to communicate exact positions on site. I reference off the finished wall on the left to find each pipe's horizontal center, then measure down from the cut edge to find the vertical center. Those two numbers give me an exact point I can transfer from paper to drywall. I repeat that for every pipe, note the diameters, and then cut each hole cleanly from center, one at a time. Here I'm drawing the length of the piece, and then I'll mark the height. I mark the center of each penetration and set the circle cutter to the required diameter. When you read the rule, the outside edge is your reference. The quarter-inch marks are shown, and eighths are set by splitting those lines. I seat the center spike fully into the drywall and score firmly to establish the cut. I measure and score each hole before blowing them through with my hammer. Oops. Then I work the diameter in multiple passes to create relief, so when the core breaks free, it comes out clean and circular for a professional finish. I score the face of the sheet completely, then stand it up to snap the cut. On the back side, I stop a few inches short at the top and bottom. That keeps the panel stable if I need to let go or reposition before the snap. Once the back paper is scored, a little controlled momentum is all it takes to break it cleanly. I'm using my 11-ounce drywall hammer to land a controlled blow right onto the center of each circle, by removing the loose pieces. Next, I remove the bottom 12 inches of drywall in the shower area to check for water damage or mold. I use a laser to establish the cut line, but you can do the same thing by marking a foot up in a few spots and connecting the line with a straight edge or chalk. A reciprocating saw gets me through most of the cut quickly, and I finish the edges with an oscillating tool for control. Once I confirm there's no damage, I cut replacement pieces. I remove any nails or screws so the new pieces will lay down nicely. The framing on the left side of this corner is wider than the right, so I hang the right piece first. Hanging in the wrong order can leave you without solid backing. The patch height is 11 inches all the way around. I cut both pieces to height at the sheet using a T-square, then take final length measurements back at the wall where I can trim them quickly with a knife. I pull my measurement from the right side using the factory edge since it hasn't been cut yet. I set the T-square so the mark stays visible, pin the bottom with my foot, and brace the middle with my knee while holding the top tight to the sheet. That locks the square in place so it can't drift while I cut. And I always store a T-square upside down, never on its leg, so if it falls, it won't knock the head out of square. A true square, used correctly, saves a lot of unnecessary headaches. One safety note: always cut downward from the top toward the middle of the sheet. Cutting upward in the mid to upper area puts your arm in the line of fire if the knife slips, and that can lead to serious injury. Whenever possible, protect wires and plumbing with metal nail plates. If you can't, mark the drywall or a nearby surface to show what's behind it. That reminder can keep a screw from finding a pipe later. Fitting this piece over 6 penetrations takes patience. You bring it in gently, and one pipe will usually stop short because a hole is just a little tight. Instead of forcing it, I pull the board back, shave the gypsum from inside the opening with a razor, and try again. Each time one penetration clears, the next tight spot reveals itself. That process repeats until the panel can sit flat on its own. Forcing it only makes repairs harder and can leave you with a piece that never actually fastens correctly. I mix up some 20-minute quick-set mud and tape and first coat the patches in one pass, so that I only have to do one more coat of hot mud before switching to box mud for skim and texture. When the air is hot and dry, the adhesive on mesh tape can fail. Pre-filling with compound gives the tape something to grab so it stays put. I do drywall in an arid climate, so I've just become accustomed to doing it this way all the time. You can see some of the techniques I use to get a solid first coat here. I'm mostly pulling the mud in one direction, which helps float the vertical seams closer to flat. On the next pass, I'll focus on feathering the horizontal seam on the top. The key to this hang was only screwing into the framing at the far left and right of the board. The drywall still has a bend due to the unusual plumbing alignment, but this wall will be hidden by a vanity, so appearance isn't an issue. This is a great example of constrained retrofit work done just well enough. To get a clean finish, I'll be taping around these pipes, but I'll never let the mud touch the pipe directly. Once the mud sets, I use a screwdriver to free it from the pipe. Locking plumbing and drywall together is a serious mistake. It can lead to cracks or even pipe damage, which can cost thousands to fix. When a water pipe expands, mud filling the hole will either crack the drywall or stress the pipe. Keeping them separate is key for a long-lasting, professional finish. Leave a small gap, usually 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch, around the pipe. You can fill this with flexible caulk or acrylic sealant, which allows movement while keeping the wall visually finished. The texture I'm trying to match here works best when you water your mud down to a looser consistency. Here, I've skimmed the wall where the new shower will go. I add a bit of texture around the perimeter so the wall looks finished, no matter exactly where the shower ends up. Let me know in the comments section if I should do a detailed tutorial on common Southwestern hand textures. All that's left is to finish the texture and sand it so the walls blend seamlessly. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more drywall tips and tutorials.